This to make it 28-3. Arthur Blank loving it. Up by 25. Toss to White. He's in! What a comeback!
All right, welcome to another episode of the 28-3 podcast. Today we are celebrating not a Corey's lock, but a Saints win.
That's right. Saints win. I will gladly take a Saints win in the place of a lock. Although
Not that you have much choice on that.
The missed locks are really kind of weighing on me these days. You don't want to see me outside of this studio. I'm just walking around with my head down. But I'm not walking around with my head down after the Saints. After the game on Sunday. I mean, it was pretty incredible to see some competent QB play.
It was exciting. It was exciting for the first time in a long time. I feel a sense of hope.
Do you?
I do. No, look, here's the thing.
I mean, maybe not for this season.
Oh, no,
obviously.
absolutely not.
Right.
But for going forward, because we talked about it last week. I don't remember which one of you asked me, how do I feel about Shough after the first game. And
yeah,
it was the same way I felt going into the Rams game of TBD. To be determined because we haven't seen enough. I still feel that way leaving the Panthers game. Still TBD because we need to see more and more out of him before we can make a decision.
Yeah.
That being said, very encouraged by what we did see. I loved how he attacked.
Yeah.
He was throwing down the field. He wasn't just doing the one read and then scrambling like we've seen previously this season from other quarterbacks. So it was encouraging. It was fun to watch. And, look, I know he's 26, but hey, man, I'll take a good young quarterback at 26, giving us somebody to watch develop. And I think Kellen Moore has shown he knows how to coach quarterbacks. We can pick on him for his in-game decision-making, some of the play calls we see, but he had Rattler playing like a competent quarterback for the first part of the season, which last year nobody would have thought possible. Yeah. So seeing Shough, the book on Shough was always you put a little pressure on him, he's going to fold. We saw him be lights out on third down this week.
Yeah.
So I think Kellen Moore is doing a good job of coaching up the quarterbacks.
Yeah. And as I was saying, call it off air, it was really pleasantly surprising to see the passing total yardage keep going up and up and up. We're so used to Rattler being back there, or at least the offense with Rattler, whatever you want to call it, and you're never really expecting the total to crack much over 215, if that, by the time the game's over. And so when you're watching the game and you see that Shough's got that, kind of midway through the third quarter or whatever it was, you got a lot of ball game left to be played. Right before the touchdown pass to Juwan, he was at like 258. And I don't think it's hyperbolic to say it's probably the best, passing total yardage since Breeze was here. Right, Nick?
Incorrect, right? But I do share the optimism, even though that's incredibly false.
We're anointing him now. He's the franchise.
I know how much you hate Derek Carr, so you're just blanking him out of your life. But and that's fine.
Derek who?
I think I even made a comment at halftime when he was playing really well, and I told Max, I think I texted him something to the effect that said he's actually missed some easy throws that he will make. Yeah. So, if he just hits the easy ones, it's going to – because
it's a 300-yard game if he hits those.
Right. And he corrected that in the second half. He didn't miss those easy throws. Those were all complete. Those little 5-yard – he missed an out that was wide open. He missed a check down, and he didn't miss them in the second half. You saw the completion percentage go from 50% all the way almost up to 70%.
I'll say on that note real quick, the one to Devin Neal, I forget at what point, but it was like kind of one of those choice routes where Devin Neal went out and then chose to go in based on the linebacker coverage. Mm-hmm. And Shough almost kind of set up how open Neal was. Now, he did have to evade a guy, but it was like when Shough went to his right, the linebacker followed him, and it gave Neal some extra space. Yeah. And he was throwing runner's balls where, the balls were caught where they could make a play. But to your point, I saw that. That was encouraging.
I think if, as far as negatives, of which there are very few, and not even negatives, just things we have to see going forward, Maybe we're fortunate that Horn falls down. I think Olave pushed off, and thank God it's about damn time. He tried to fight for a damn catch.
He played well.
If he'd have got called there, I'd have had no problem with it.
Yeah.
That's what he needs to start
That's
doing.
what number one guys do.
Yeah, he needs to be
use
physical.
your hands.
Right. You
Yeah.
need to make them throw that flag because they don't throw it very often.
Yeah.
So if you want to nitpick, you can say that, but he threw the pass, and that's our best player. I can tell you the franchise thinks it's our best player, whether he is or isn't. Talking about Olave. You need to give those guys a chance to make those plays.
Yeah, I think it was Freaky Peasy on Twitter, and I hope I'm not misattributing this, but he had actually like a good little blurb about it. You know, he goes, the thing that Shoughed did yesterday, you know, or at least with the pass to Olave, is he threw that pass. You know, Rattler wasn't throwing deep unless the guy was absolutely open. Right. And he goes, and you just can't do that in the NFL. When you got a one-on-one, you know,
you got to trust them.
The key words were like receivers track balls better than DBs. You got to just give your guy a chance to catch it. Now you got to put a good pass, and he put an accurate pass. So even if Horn had stayed in phase with him, he could have broken it up. Sure,
it's probably a breakup, but a difficult
the ball
one.
Would have been where it needed to be.
Yeah, you couldn't throw it better.
And there's truth to that. Look, I mean, if it gets broken up, it gets broken up. It's one-on-one. It's the right throw. But the fact that he threw it, and
take chances.
You know,
because I love his aggression.
Because stuff like that can happen when you throw it. It's
50-50 at that point.
It's like when you're in Little League Baseball and the coach is like, no, run from second to third, make the Little Leaguer try to throw you out. He's going to miss it every now and then.
The other part to that is the mental part. He understands it's 3rd and 7. He understands an interception doesn't hurt you.
Yeah, it's a punt.
It's a 40-yard, 50-yard interception.
Yeah.
Fine, that's a punt. That's situationally knowing, okay, this is a chance I got one-on-one. I know that's one of the top 5 corners by pay. I don't know if he is, but he's paid as
he was thinking about his salary as he was throwing it.
And you're going to throw it anyway, even though, you know, it's an elite player on the other side, because you know the risk is very low.
Yeah.
Just as long as Olave tackles him, and if he picks it, who cares about the stats?
It's an arm punt at that point.
Throw the ball.
Yeah.
And he took the chance, and he got paid off for it. The long Juwan play on the first drive, you know,
love to scramble.
I said last week he had one of those plays. My favorite play was when he stepped up and he threw Olave on the crossing route. Same type of play where he stepped up in the pocket and Olave was coming across.
From last week?
Yeah, from last week.
Yeah, like late in the game.
3rd quarter, I think.
Yeah.
And perfect throw as he was stepping up, coming. Same thing. He evaded the sack. He stepped up in the pocket. Juwan comes free.
Yeah.
That's an easy throw for him once he's free of that situation.
Yeah. And the touchdown pass, someone was saying, like, all you fools that were
making fun of him for the combine.
Making fun of you for the combine. That's exactly what he works on. It's a skill of his to roll out, throw it opposite direction.
He did it in a game last year.
Now, the combine throw was really bad. The combine
it was really
throw
bad, and
really
it's
bad.
a little bit different because this throw he was throwing in front of him to where he was going and not directly
and he was
straight.
In a uniform, not in underwear. He was in a game, not in Indianapolis.
Yeah, it was a different throw, but I get the point. He was going to his left, and throwing to your left going left is easier than trying to throw it down the middle going to your left. Does that make sense? Because you're not fully going against your body.
It's hard to go against the grain and throw a football no matter what.
Right.
I've done it many times. It's difficult.
But if you're throwing back, it's twice as difficult.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, back in the day, man.
That's what ended the career.
Never did it competitively. Just
we saw
just
some
for
footage,
fun,
just in general.
surface up into Discord of a certain fullback.
Yeah, I found my Karen Crow game on YouTube and clipped it up. I got a good ISO block in there if you want to see that one too.
Yeah, I'm sure Casey's going to send it to us.
also got a clip of me totally missing a block and getting the quarterback sacked.
That one we need. Casey, send it.
I have it.
You got to post it.
What you gonna do for me?
Discord, go for it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll take that Labubu off.
The other part that I thought was really key is I looked at the stats in the 3rd quarter, and we were 50-50 run pass. When the game was a 1-score game, we stuck to it. We didn't try and force the pass. We didn't try and make Shough do it on his own. We ended up going way over heavy run because we had the 2-score lead. Obviously, that's going to get lopsided in that game situation. But when the game was tight, we were dead even. We were 50-50. I think that makes a huge difference. I think it would have made a difference for Rattler, to be quite honest. I think you put Shough in a bad situation. Even if you have to punt every now and then, you have to keep handing that ball off.
Yeah.
And it worked beautifully. I mean, I know he ended at 3.8 a carry. It kind of went down in the 4th quarter when they knew we were running.
Yeah, I was surprised that
it looked good.
Carry was he looked good running the ball. And I was going to ask, like, so do you think it's kind of seems like a chicken and the egg thing based on your outlook towards running the ball and volume of rushing attempts? You know, like last episode or the one before, you said, you're not going to get success running the ball if you don't run it. Like, even if you're only getting 2-3 yards a pop, you're not going to get the 4 or 5 yards a pop until you keep pushing it. So do you think we were successful in the run this game because of the volume, or because we just run blocked better?
The volume.
Yeah,
I really do. I think you stuck to it. I just think that makes a big difference. And I don't worry about yards per carry, unless it's just horrendous.
Like, you've run it 10 times and
you've got 9 yards, right? Then you're, I get it. But if you're at 3.8 and you're not, everyone's mark is 4 a carry, 3.8, we're going to bail on the run because we're going 3.6 to 3.8. No, keep pounding it. You're going to break one. Neal had a good run. I think he had like a 15-yard run too. And that was good to see. We know AK is not going to break long runs. So, if his top-end run is going to be a 20-yard run, okay, his yards per carry might be around 3.8, 3.9. That's okay. Keep doing it. And keep the game tight. Keep it within reach. The only negative I was going to say is it looked awesome, right? The game looked awesome.
Okay.
What could you have negative to say about offense or defense? Nothing. Defense dominated the game. Offense, it looked like we were dominating the game. 17 points.
Okay, I was like, wait, where's the negative?
Why was it
coming
only
in here?
17 points? That felt like 30-plus points, did it not?
And
I know we were down in their end at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Get it. We didn't miss a field goal. We got in scoring range 4 times. We ended the game in scoring range. I get it. But that felt like an offensive explosion. But the points didn't reflect what we were watching.
And that's where what Max said about Kellen Moore comes in, because I think it was really, what did we do? Did we end up getting a field goal before the half or not? We had to punt, right? Because right before the half, we
got the field goal first.
Yeah,
that was the first drive.
When we had the ball before the half, we had
The announcer was upset we didn't go for it.
we had all 3 timeouts.
Yeah.
We had all 3 timeouts in our pocket. We got the ball with 3:54 left on the clock.
What
And
happened?
we were methodical. Where was it? So yard path, 2nd and 7, 3rd and 6. Before the 2-minute, we converted to get the first down. So the first play after the 2-minute warning is a 1st and 10, 3-yard pass. Then you got 2nd and 7, 3-yard pass, 3rd and 4. We converted, and now when we converted, that was when the clock was at 1:18. We kept converting in inbounds. And at no point did we call timeout, and that was to our own 36-yard line. So you're thinking, all right, 18. You just completed it with 1:18 left on the clock at your own 36.
I let that run.
Maybe,
but the next play I call it.
The next play, the next play was incompletion. Then you had a 5-yard pass on 2nd and 10.
So what was the clock at 2nd and 10?
On 2nd and 10, it was 1:04.
I'm letting that run too. So what did we do on 3rd down?
On 3rd down, we had a 1-yard run.
Okay.
But it was a little perplexing, like just the
I would have done
play calls we did, like running it on.
Oh, there was a penalty.
There was a penalty.
There was a penalty. No, it was 4th and they were going to go for it.
But here's the thing: it was
they were going to go for it, and then they got the penalty called, and it got backed up, and then they punted.
Right, but the 5-yard pass, the 2nd and 10 5-yard pass was when the clock was at 104. That's when it was at 104 when the play started.
Right.
We let the clock run all the way down to 32 seconds.
I would have done that if I had 3 timeouts.
I'm fine with that. I know the point you're trying to make.
Take their chance of scoring out of the equation, and you got 3 timeouts. I'm okay with that.
So
I was hazy at first. I was like, what scenario is he talking about? But I remember it vividly now because we were about to go for it on 4th down. It was the penalty from the center when the center hiked the ball up, hit his ass, double clutched it.
Yeah, so we
and
had
then they
to
backed
punt.
us up and we ended up punting.
I mean, it was looking.
No, I agree with what he was doing with the play clock.
I guess it was for me. It was.
Over the time.
I was thinking at the time watching the game, I would agree with letting the clock get closer if we were closer to the goal line. If we were in plus territory, if we were close to the red zone.
You had 3 timeouts. You were fine.
But I think I bring that up because I think the score was 17, not 24. I mean, we could have popped it in at the end, whatever. But it looked like Kellen Moore was coaching to make sure they don't score, like keep the ball away from them. Like it was more of a keep away game instead of a.
I think that was smart though
shootout.
because we were getting the ball right
because they couldn't move it. I mean, they needed
what
Bryce
point
Young.
are you trying to make? Because are you arguing
you wanted
that
us to push harder and call the timeout?
I'm not saying I think the score would have been higher if we were just going for broke on offense. It's like we had success on offense. We moved the ball, but it wasn't like we were going for broke to score. Like we were running the clock, eating it.
Yeah, but I'm fine with him running the clock down because Shough was pushing it down the field.
I'm not saying I'm not fine with it. I'm just saying I think that's the best.
He's explaining why we only had 17
It's the
points.
best explanation for why it was 17.
And that's fine.
More.
I do like what he did there. Because what did we snap it? How much time was it when we punted?
30-something seconds.
30-something. Okay, so I think he played that perfectly.
27 seconds.
Because
it was fine.
what he was thinking when he ran the ball on third down is if we pop one here, we're in field goal range. We're in field goal range. We call a timeout. 2 timeouts from the 35. Yeah. We're in good shape. Yeah. We're going to have first down, second down. If we complete the 2 passes, we're down inside the 10.
Yeah, no. If the goal was to make sure they don't score before the half, it's definitely succeeded.
I think that's your number one goal. If he, in his head, decided I'm going for it on fourth down, because you're going to give him the ball.
Because he was going for it on fourth down
at the 38, and it's a short field. Yeah. So I think he's like, okay, I got to get the clock down if I'm going to go for it on fourth down. He was.
Yeah.
He was covering his ass if they didn't convert.
At the time, I was wanting us to be a hell of a lot more aggressive. Like, let's just get points. We're moving it well. Shough's playing well, but I can see it like after a day has passed, 24-hour rule, Cam Jordan, that. All right, you know what? If we had been aggressive, and if Shough was overly aggressive, and he throws a pick,
right,
that could have fucked him for the rest of the game.
That's why I think you hedge it that way. That's 100% why I think you do.
Kellen Moore played that perfectly.
Yeah.
I like the way he used the clock. I like the way he was calling the plays. It's just that the double clutch on the snap fucked us. We got a false start penalty on a center, which is amazing, and we ended up having to punt. So that's what screwed it up.
I think all that's going to be talked about is Shough, and I think that's perfectly fair. But what won this game was the defensive performance. It should have been a shutout. If Justin Reed doesn't put his hand in the face mask, it's a shutout.
The D-line,
it's 0 points.
The D-line and linebackers stepped the fuck up with Rico, stopping him. Him, considering what he had done coming in, considering what we had just allowed against LA, him being held to 54 yards
he's the leading rusher in the league since he was a starter, since week 5. So that was a dominant defensive performance. They gave nothing on the run. They gave nothing on the pass. It was unbelievable. We won't have a game. They didn't get 200 yards, did they? I mean,
no, their total. I mean, you look at, that's why we're talking about the score. You look at the total plays, 67-50 in favor of us. Total yards, we had 388. They had 175.
Yeah. 175 yards. That's dominant.
Yeah. Total yards. We thought they could have rushed for that.
Man, I'm so pissed off because we did the preview episode and I wanted to take the fucking Saints.
You ended up being right.
Yeah, and it kills me because I told both of y'all, I said this Panthers defense is not that good. I said this Panthers team is not that good. And
well, the defense did exactly what it's done all year. It's banned, and they held you to 17. Right.
Yeah.
You needed 18 to win, or obviously that's all theoretical, but they held you in the teens still. So
we thought we'd be run on a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, I thought they'd control the clock. They didn't. We did. I don't know. It was a perfect defensive performance, just about, other than a couple penalties.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't know what it was, but this game felt like, just leading up to it, it just felt like this was the Saints' game to win. I don't know why. I couldn't shake that feeling. I'm like, they were going to win this game. I just didn't fucking pull the trigger on the pick. And honestly, let's just run through the picks real quick so we can get that out the way. Offensive player of the game, it's got to be Tyler Shough.
I don't know, Nick. Do you think it was Olave? You and I both picked Olave. We have control.
Nick has integrity, unlike some
we have
people
control. We have control of the votes, Nick. Come on.
What I'm going to say is,
we could shut down the government right now.
I think it was Olave's best game of the season,
absolutely,
without question. The long touchdown, which we haven't seen from Olave in a bit, the one-handed catch, the catch across the middle. It was his best game of the season.
No drops, right?
No drops. He was. Juwan had a great game too. I mean, I hate to say it, he didn't make any mistakes, and 2 monster plays. Those were huge plays.
The 50-yard catch, it was really catch and run. I mean, he caught the ball at like the 25, 30 yard.
He broke a tackle after about 10 and got another 20 yards.
And the whole time he's running with the ball, I'm like, that ball's coming out. That ball's coming out.
Oh God, it looked like it.
Look, kudos to him. He held on to the ball this week. He caught the pass. Juwan didn't have any. Juwan not having a drop or a fumble.
It was Juwan's best game of the year.
Bizarre.
It was Olave's best game of the year.
I also think it was AK's best game of the year.
It probably was.
And that's all part of it. But this is a situation where Shough, you're deciding between 2 receivers. That means the quarterback had the best game.
Exactly.
So
your shenanigans will not be tolerated here.
It's Shough, but it's Olave's first 100-yard game in like almost 2
Over
years.
2 years.
Over 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It
been
was
forever.
2023
Which is why
season.
we have to give it
Right.
to Olave.
And he was awesome. This wasn't a
No,
bullshit
this was a
100-yard
number
game.
one receiver game from
Yeah.
Olave.
Tough catches, physical
catches.
catches across the middle. He did it all. But, you know,
But Shough was the best player.
Shought's the best player in this game. There's no doubt about it.
Dude, there you go, Max.
Well, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to compromise your integrity to gain a point so you don't
It's-
sit.
I've also look time out.
it's
We're
just
going to
it's
redo
just-
this again
it's
next
just politics,
season.
Max.
I've
It's just
decided
politics, all right?
whoever picked the we're going to mix it up. We're going to change this next year where we each pick a player. It's going to be like a draft every week. We're going to alternate who goes first. You get to pick a player. Then it's whoever picks the player who had the best game gets the point. It's too many times no one gets a point. So we had Olave and Max had Vele. We would have got a point. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, who had the best
Of
game
who we
out
picked.
of our picks?
Out of our picks.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's a competition against each other, right?
Okay.
Okay.
That's
So
fair.
we were closer than Max this week. We would have got a point. That's what we switch it to next year. So there's more points.
So we're
on
not
the board.
spinning our wheels on the
Right, and it's easier to
score.
get points.
Corey
and
will
catch
somehow
up.
figure out a way not to get to double digits.
I think he's going to get
This
there
is your
this year.
third year in a row where you're in last place, just so you know.
This is how I get points. It's not always like what's done on the field. Sometimes you got to wheel
You
and
try to
deal
rig
in-
the system
in
like
the
your
back.
hero
In the
Trump.
back, it's not rigging. It's just how it get when you
Well,
have.
But
I
I
didn't
think-
let you get away with
When
it.
you have the votes, Max, you take advantage. Okay, so Nick
I
doesn't.
think
wanna,
that'll be more fun next year because if you get behind by 8 or 9 points, you're not out of it.
Unfortunately for you, this man has integrity when it comes to gambling.
we're
Anyway,
not
so
gambling on these.
defense. You and I talked about it. I said Alante. Who'd you say?
on defense.
Yeah.
Justin Reed, which was false.
No, he's saying who
you're
you
not
pick
listening.
in this
Who-
week.
Who was the defensive player?
Oh, I
of the
thought you
game?
said who I had. I'm going Olante. We were talking earlier. At first, I said DeMario because eye test. He was all over the place. I liked his.
If DeMario
his-
gets the interception, then it was
If the interception not called back, is absolutely
I mean, I give him
Yeah.
I give him credit for how he played to be there to get the pick that was called back. But it's really not the fact that he didn't
He made a case for Pete.
get it.
I'm giving it
officially.
to Pete
Of course,
because
he made a case for Pete.
I'm giving it to a linebacker. I'm not giving it to Alante. I'm giving it to a linebacker. What they did to Dowdle, I have to give it to someone there in the front seven.
well, Alante had some run blitzes. Alante popped
he
the
did.
shit out of Dowdle in
He
one
did.
play.
I
mean,
Pete also got a turnover. So turnover to turnover. I felt Pete and DeMario were the reason, though. Like that's what popped out to me
Yeah.
when I was watching the game the most. So I'm gonna give it to. I picked DeMario, and I do think if he had the interception, he was the clear best player on defense. But it got called back. Doesn't count.
The thing was when we went to the box score, it's one of those
Alante
like
had the same number
are you
of
going
tackles
are you
as
going with the
DeMario.
eye test or the stats? So Alante had 2 less tackles, but he had
They both had 9, I believe, right?
this is saying total. DeMario had 7 tackles, 2 solo. Alante had 5 tackles, 4 solo. Alante had a TFL. DeMario didn't. You looked at this year's Panthers game?
Yeah.
Okay.
DeMario had a pressure too. He had a batted ball. DeMario was everywhere.
They
Dude.
both had a pass defense. Yeah, I mean, and Alante obviously had the INT that did not get called back.
What
But,
did Pete finish with? 7 tackles.
Pete had 6
fumble.
6 tackles, 3 solo, TFL, and then the fumble recovery.
I vote Alante.
I'll take Pete. You can have Alante. Doesn't really matter. None of us
Doesn't really
picked
matter.
those
None of us
guys. So I would give it to the front 7 if we were just picking because that we said in the preview. We all thought we were screwed because we said this is a game if we don't stop the run, we're going to lose.
Yeah.
And they stopped the run. They did
Yeah.
it. They packed the box. They give it to Staley. He said, "Go ahead, Bryce Young. Have one-on-one coverage all over the field. Let me see what
Yeah.
you can do."
Yeah.
And he couldn't do it.
The color commentator said it so many times. It was like watching The Water Boy, but he was just like, the Saints are determined to make Bryce Young beat them. Bryce Young's going to have to beat the Saints. And like, he's not not wrong. Oh, yeah, Schlereth. But Schlereth said it so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because they didn't hold anything back.
We catch the C squad every week now.
Yeah. Can't wait till we.
But he wasn't wrong. He saw
no, he was right.
Yeah, he was right. But
he saw the defensive calls. He said, like, look, there's single high safety, single coverage on the outside.
No,
Like,
Schlereth knows ball. Out of
Yeah.
all the commentators, I mean, he's good at his ball knowledge. Maybe he just likes to say shit a
Yeah.
lot.
All right, so we all picked the Panthers. So obviously none of us get credit for no. So no one gets a point.
0 points. Yeah.
And then on to the locks.
Man, it was.
Your new tally is
I was really hoping to go into the bye week like the Saints, feeling the victory, and I'm down 419 now. Was it
419.
So that's strong.
$81 left.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean,
what happens when he runs out of money?
I don't know. We got to come up with something like that.
Why don't you give our sponsor a shout out so maybe he'll be in a good mood?
I think he's going to have to do community service to get more money into the kitty.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Not for this podcast. I'll do it on my own accord. But for the Norton Leatherman Spawn Center, our gracious sponsor. But we stopped the bleeding last week at least, right? Because we would have hit the down 500 had I not hit a lock. Okay, so $81 above what it could have been if I didn't break the streak.
Still alive.
Still there, But y'all said it. I mean, look, there was the two-way for those who maybe didn't listen to whatever. Rico Dowdle anytime, and then Tyler Shough rushing for more than 11.5 yards. And so when Dowdle scored that touchdown right away, I was like, shit, we got the whole game for Tyler Shough to run for 12 yards. I mean,
I thought you had it.
I thought he'd be running around I thought the pressure would be worse. Or
I was getting ready to say, you can blame how much better our offensive line played than we thought it was going to against this defense because he wasn't running for his life. He really wasn't.
And the sacks that he took, I mean, he had no chance to get out of there.
One he did. One I was upset with where he planted. It was.
I'm thinking the one that Ruiz gave up.
Yeah, that one wasn't on him at all.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
But there were a couple times though, and look, I can't be mad. Truly, I mean, I could be mad that I missed the lock, but when he was rolling out, kind of like hugging the line of scrimmage, he had 20 yards in front of him. I mean, I saw watching on TV. I'm like, just go. You got green grass. Nope. And then he throws
Huge
it,
play.
and it's a 50-yard pass to Juwan. I'm like, all right, that's fine.
Smart.
So
I was surprised there weren't 3 or 4 design runs in there. That's
because he's faster than Rattler
and bigger,
and it's like. Well, but I think the thing is with Rattler, he does the one read. And then he would just take off or dump it off.
Yeah, Shough actually looked
Shough was
through.
like, I'll go to my second read or my third read, and let's look down the field.
And to his credit, he found anytime he was outside the pocket, or most times he was outside the pocket, he found an open guy.
I'm just
also, you were not counting on victory formation negative yard rushing.
I did not expect to take that hit because he was at 3 at some point in the fourth quarter when I was tracking it, and then he finished with -3.
Yeah.
He 3 kneels, solid 6 yards.
You know what is really fun is to go look on social media and see how the whole narrative about Rattler and Shough is kind of...
Yeah, it's,
there's a lot of people who are backtracking what they've said.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
it's funny.
People being
that's what they do.
Very praiseworthy.
There's also no consequence to just, spilling your guts out there anymore. You rarely get called on it. I mean, I was firmly in the don't draft Shough at 40. So if he continues to play like this, I was dead wrong, and I hope I am. I think our goal.
Full disclosure: none of us were happy about the pick at the time. So we'll all own that, but we're all hoping for the best.
I'm not owning it yet. I want to see it, and I'm kind of psyched he gets a couple easy teams here, and then, I'd like to see how he does against the Bucks. I'd like to see how he plays a little bit better teams, in the mix and see how that goes. We all knew the Panthers hadn't really beat anybody but the Green Bay.
Yeah, but
win.
what better teams are there's not.
It's the Bucks, and we got one more, I thought. Don't we have two?
You get the Falcons twice. You get the Panthers again. You get the Dolphins, the Titans, and the Jets.
You're right. It's only one. It's just
only
the Bucks.
one, dude. It's that Bucks game.
We're the kind of team this year. Obviously you're a 2-8 team, so there's no standard of success, right? Like with the Breeze teams, you knew you had a certain expectation, and then that expectation would play itself out on the field. When you're not a good football team, there's one thing that should happen, and then very likely a different thing actually happens on the field because the team is just inconsistent. So while those are easy teams on paper, it's incredibly
the Dolphins just beat the Bills,
right? So
we don't know what the hell's going on.
Just for context, I think we have one of the bottom 5 rosters as it sits today.
I think it's the worst roster.
I don't. I really think Tennessee's just rough.
They have Jeffrey Simmons, who's better than
I hear
any
you.
of our two
he would be the
players
first pick, but out of that top 10, I bet you we have 6 of them. That's a rough team, and I know we have a bad roster. I think Tennessee, maybe they have a slightly worse roster.
How about a game
Cam
show?
Ward has not had a game like Shough just had yet, and he was the first pick.
We need to do a game show episode of Saints rosters versus the other rosters.
We could. Those bottom 5 that we think.
Yeah, let's say because I don't know if I know the other rosters well enough off the top.
Well,
of my
no, this
head.
is why we have computers in front of us.
I know, but
I'm gonna write that down. We might do that during the bye week.
I mean, Calvin Ridley 4 years ago, sure, good, really good player. They've got Pollard's been in and out, right?
Yeah.
Even Ridley's been hurt.
one of the
Defense, you have Jeffrey Simmons. Obviously, he's an elite
elite.
talent.
One of the reasons we say our roster's not great is because of the lack of depth. So it's almost like you got to look to see who's.
But we also don't have
kind
a star,
What
right?
kind of depth do they have?
We don't have an offensive.
They have a star.
We don't have an offensive or defensive player that's made a Pro Bowl in the last 5 years, other than DeMario, who's 36.
I was about to say, that's DeMario.
Right?
We didn't have anybody make it as an alternate? No?
McCoy made it as an alternate. He did not make it on the
With no
original
other
roster.
defenders besides
They have
DeMario.
some high picks on this offensive line. Are they not performing well? That are young guys. J.C. Latham, Skoronowski.
It's similar to us on the offensive line.
Yeah, 'cause both of those guys were first-round picks.
We've got 5 of those.
No, they weren't all first-round picks, sir.
Yeah, but the best
Just
one.
McCoy, right?
The best one was not first
Boy
round.
wasn't a first-round pick.
That's it.
That almost,
That's the
makes,
only
that
one.
almost makes it worse. Like
From the start of the season, I mean.
Ruiz was a first.
Penning was, Fuaga was, Banks was.
Like,
Well, Penning's gone now,
Yeah.
so
if you,
Radens.
in the most technical layout, if you drafted correctly, then McCoy should, in theory, be your worst starting 5 because he's the lowest
Correct.
pick. But
He's also a center, and
it's
they
the
generally don't
inverse.
get picked in the first round.
All
Generally.
right, so this is
Unless you're the Saints and
this is
take
a bad
Ruiz.
roster. Hey, Shy Tuttle is their backup nose tackle.
Look at that.
Devondre Sweat's a solid player.
Yeah.
It's a bad roster, too.
It is a bad
Let's
roster. No, it's a neck and neck competition. It's actually a really
And
good
the
pick.
Jets were light years ahead of us, but they aren't anymore.
Yeah.
The Jets were though.
But
They were. Yeah.
I'll say this too: as far as the roster goes, the weight of like the quality of your quarterback has a huge weight on how good your roster is as a whole. And so,
100%.
I don't know if we said it yet this episode, but as good as Shough was, one game, right?
Well, the biggest
So
thing is-
I want to see him
Yes.
do it again.
But back to the roster thing, real quick before Max makes his point. 2 years ago, Washington had a terrible fucking roster. They sorted out the quarterback. They went to the NFC Championship game the first year.
Yeah.
Now he's out this year. They're getting their ass drummed again.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
roster is terrible. The quarterback is elite.
Yeah.
If you fix that, you always have a chance.
yeah,
That's just the bottom
absolutely.
line.
Yeah, and you see what a difference it makes. Like we all watched the game on Sunday, and all of us were optimistic watching the game. You know what I mean? Like as it's unfolding, you're
Yeah.
just in a good mood. Like I'm upset. I'm partially upset that there's not a game this weekend because I want to see Shough play again.
Yeah, once you get the taste of success.
But I'm also
yeah.
like, you know what? The next game is a home game against the Falcons.
And how about that
It's his
for
first start in the Dome
And he-
against the Falcons, and he has a bye week to prepare for it.
coming off of a dominant performance? Like I'm happy for him that he's going to have the whole Dome hype for him to come in. Hopefully,
Yes, there should
when
be
they
100%
when they
approval
announce
rating
the
for this,
starters. Hopefully they announce the
If he
offensive
stomps
starters.
the Falcons, the fan base is going to lose their mind.
Yeah, because if
The agenda is already forgotten.
well, yeah, that's
just,
even, not even a thing. But if he played against the Panthers, even in a win, if he played kind of the same level as he did against the Rams, no one's going to be really excited about him at the Falcons game in the Dome. But after that performance, I mean, I'm happy for him, happy for the fans. It's like now he's got to show up in the Dome. I mean,
What I'm going to say, the big plays, 3 of what I consider his 4 big plays he's made.
Did you promote these yet?
it's pinned on our Twitter profile, but we haven't done a new tweet.
Why don't you bang one of those out while he's talking? 'Cause we've been talking about this for weeks now. And this is
You're doing
now
the 2-week lead up,
appropriate
huh?
time.
Yeah. So we got the shirts. We came out with these technically
Months ago.
in training camp before they had announced the starter, and then once Rattler was named, we kind of put him in the
And
back
we've been
burner.
hoping that this would line up to where the Falcons game.
And it has. And so now you have time to order it. Order this shirt, which says "Fuck the Falcons," but spelled like Shough. So FOUGH the Falcons.
It is safe
Find
for
it
work.
at shop.28to3podcast.com. And you order it now. You still got plenty of time for it to come in for the Falcons game. Give it about a week for shipping. So bye week helps you there.
And we might get a tweet out about it soon. We've been talking
We
about
might.
it for
We got
2
to
weeks.
talk to our admin about that. But yeah, conveniently priced at $28.03. So we could stack the Dome with these, or it's really not a bad time to wear a "Fuck the Falcon" shirt.
It really
in my
isn't.
opinion. I mean, great,
never a
great,
bad time.
Great for Christmas. Get it in time for Thanksgiving. Whatever you want. But
Okay. The point I was making on Shough with 3 of his 4 big plays came when he stepped up in the pocket, created with his legs, and got the ball out. we all know there are quarterbacks who can consistently do that, right? And it's a certain skill set. There's plenty of quarterbacks that can succeed without being able to do that. But when you're talking about, even Justin Herbert, I was watching that game last night, the way he stepped up and made plays, kind of throwing as he's going forward in the pocket. Mahomes, Jaden Daniels, there's probably a half dozen that are elite at it. If he can do that week in and week out, that's a huge thing. Yeah. I mean, it changes games where plays break down and you can create something out of nothing. That's what I want to see in these last 5 weeks. Do we continue to see one or two of those plays a game where that's going to be a punt and he turned it into a 20-yard gain by escaping the pressure, climbing the pocket, getting the ball out?
And also, to that point, credit the receivers and tight ends were included for, staying on their routes or running the scramble drill correctly, because, that was an issue even with Rattler. And then you kind of start to think, well, did Rattler take too long to get out of the pocket?
He wasn't looking downfield, I think, was the real problem.
And so it's like when you talk about those other QBs, it's mainly their ability to keep just enough of an eye on the pass rush, because the panicky QBs put two eyes on the pass rush,
right,
and then get the fuck
Rattler.
out.
That's what Rattler did.
Shough showed that you could tell he was always aware of where the pass rush was, enough like the I don't know if the first long play to Juwan or one of them where he had to roll, get completely. He was almost dead to rights. I think it was the first long Juwan play.
It was that was the most difficult.
But it's that it didn't take long for him to know where everybody was, and then so you have to have that. But then you also have to have receivers that understand your QB's in trouble, find the soft spot, and if it's a zone, if it's man, run circles around your guy, you'll get open.
And Horn fell down on the Juwan one too, but when I went back and I told Max, I said, man, I don't know if we got lucky. He fell down both times. That was Juwan, made him fall. Yeah. Juwan cut out. That one was not just an unlucky fall. He was trying to cut with Juwan, and he slipped. That was created by us.
I'm not saying he's some speed demon or anything, but when Juwan really had the open field to run in, I'm like, forget he's actually kind of fast.
Well, he's a receiver. He's a receiver.
Right.
For a tight end, he should be a speed demon. Yeah. He was a wide receiver.
Because all of his catches so far this year, I feel like they've been in places where he doesn't really have a whole lot of room to run after the catch. And so he
that's good. Rattler never led anybody.
Right. Yeah. And that goes back to the point I made earlier. Yeah, the runner's ball. Yeah. I think Shough did an excellent job of throwing the ball where guys had a chance to keep running with it.
And we saw that in the preseason, though. Yeah. He was leading people.
Yeah, even the Olave one-handed catch. Amazing catch by Olave, but the ball was put in the exact spot it had to be put in.
Juwan ran a 4.58 at the combine.
Yeah, and that's blazing fast for a guy that big.
Yeah. 6'4", 231.
And he's dealt with injuries before, played hurt and stuff like that. So it was good to see him, you're reminded of, okay, look, we hate on him, and for good reason because of all the drops and the fumbles. But, if he could just keep, working his ball security, the guy can run, Yeah,
if he could catch, he'd be amazing.
He could catch and not fumble.
It's the same thing. I text Max that about Quentin Johnson last night. I'm like, dude, if this dude could actually catch,
look,
and the NFL,
you know better than anybody. You know better than anybody. I love a height, weight, speed freak at wide receiver, and I hated Quentin Johnson coming out. I'm like, this dude can't catch.
They interviewed Ladd, and Ladd's like, he can just do stuff none of us can do.
Yeah.
Talking about it in practice. We love seeing his success because, you don't understand. He just does stuff that's impossible.
Yeah.
And you're like, but he can't catch, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Does he do it in the game?
The other thing I think that we need to discuss, because it worked, I guess, in our favor against us, is the Olave situation is now, I text Max, brace yourself for the 4-year, $135 million.
If he is going to play like that every week, fine.
I agree.
Yeah, I was going to say, I still think he needs at least a couple more games like this one. For it to be a sure bet. But then you said it's a sure bet. You said it the organization has their opinion. I think they've made that known. So, I think if he's got a few more games like this, then it won't be as harsh from the fan base when it comes out. But if this is the best game of his year and none of them are even close to this going forward, then it's going to be a hell of a tough pill for everyone to swallow.
But text Max,
might be happening either way, but
I think it is now. Just with with trading Shoughed, with him elevating a little this week, presumably keeps it up. His current pace is, I think, almost 110 catches for 12, 50, and 7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
They're going to pay that guy. There's no way.
You're looking
at
if it's not even this immediate offseason, the one after that, we're staring down a hell of a lot more. Call it, in the next 2-3 years, we're staring down a hell of a lot more cap space than we've ever had to work with. And then even going into this immediate offseason, we're far, it's kind of like my locks. We're far less in the hole than, we were in years past.
Yeah.
Right. So like Loomis is seeing -25 and thinking, oh shit, last year was -95. Let's go.
Yeah. I just wish we could get out of the negative all the time.
Like, so if
He'll
you're
be out
talking
of
about
it
an
after
extension
2026.
and you're talking about Olave's big money not really hitting full bore until the 2027 year, then
Correct.
Then it makes it a
Well,
lot easier.
here's the biggest thing we have to consider, and this is what made me change my tune about it a couple weeks ago. If you look at our wide receiver core, no one makes any money. So if you pay Olave, let's just say he does get how much? What's your prediction? What do you think he's going to get?
I now think it's going to be
30 mil?
34.
Okay, let's call it 30 just for these purposes. So let's say he gets a 3 or 4 year deal. He's averaging 30 mil a year. The rest of the receiving core makes the fucking minimum.
Yeah.
Other than Brandon Cooks, who I think is a 1 year rental and he's probably off the team next year. So you're looking at Vele is on a fifth round or whatever he was, rookie deal. Mason Tipton's a minimum guy. Who else is even? I can't even think of the other receivers.
That's everybody.
Right now. Jesus Christ.
Well, right now we just signed Pettis back.
Tipton, Cooks, Vele.
Pettis is back.
He's our 5 now.
Bob Means is still on the team.
He's
He's on
hurt.
injured reserve, but he's on a rookie contract.
he's still
so you're
rookie,
looking
yeah.
at Olave and a bunch of guys that are on rookie contracts.
Yeah.
So under that scenario,
Because
sign him. Fuck it.
And
Because you don't have anybody else you're going to pay out of that group.
Yeah, and there's a point where
You're not paying one
I
of the
think
tight ends.
The NFL today,
We are kind of
you
paying
know,
one.
Oh, he's 10 mil. He's 10 mil a year at this point,
but he's playing up to his contract this year by stats.
No.
By stats.
By stats.
by yardage
stats.
and catches. Yes.
I had to quickly
Not by performance.
I had to,
Not by
had to
performance,
quickly
yeah.
qualify that because I agree. I've been just as tough on him as anybody with the drops and the fumbles, but by stats this year he's up to the contract. Anyway, the point is that's just kind of the NFL in this day and age where there's only certain positions where if you don't have a guy at that spot, you're fucked. And if you don't have a guy at receiver, a guy at quarterback, potentially pass rusher, there's tackle.
Jawan's the 13th highest paid tight end right now.
Yeah. So, but for the drops and fumbles, yeah, he's playing like
He is not playing up to his contract, but his stats are reflective of being the 13th.
They mixed Foster in this week too, which was good to see.
Good
He got
to
a
see.
couple
Yeah,
catches.
definitely good to see. At least that Chuck's seen it. But my point is, you just got to pay market rate for certain guys. You got to have a number one or just a sure bet wide receiver. Because think of the alternative. If we don't just pay market rate for Olave, then what are you going into next year with?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now,
pretty bleak.
with the way, and you texted me this yesterday, like we're a win away from having like the 10th pick. So from having the first pick last week, we could be at the 10th pick in 2 weeks.
We could be in the teens.
We could be in the
because of the
teens.
schedule.
It's turning into what we've. What
because
happened.
of the schedule, you might be like 13, 14,
Right.
depending on what happens.
There's no way we should be drafting in the teens with our current roster.
Right.
We may just because of the way the schedule fell.
Yeah,
Right.
it would be nice to finish worse than the Jets and make them back up the Brinks truck to us, but
That's not happening.
it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Well, if that happens, then that means Shuck's probably not the guy.
Right.
I'd
'Cause-
rather Shuck be the guy and pick.
Well,
him
we
in
talked
teams.
about it. The ideal scenario would be like Shuck every game.
The worst would be
42 to 41,
like
but it's not going to happen.
like Sundays is kind of like the average for him going forward, and other teams just route us on offense. But it seems pretty correlative of the way he plays. Especially against the bad teams that can't score on their own. We're more likely to win.
I think the first pick in the draft is out the window.
yeah.
Just
Well, 'cause
looking at the schedule and seeing how he performed.
Tennessee's taking the first pick again. I'm almost certain. They play some decent teams down the stretch. They haven't competed at all. I mean, we were neck and
Who
neck
did they
with them.
beat?
They just beat somebody that they shouldn't have. It's kind of like Carolina last week against Green Bay. It was one of those, I think.
But what I was going with my original thought is this team is going to draft a wide receiver in the first round or the second round.
Yeah.
Like if you look, on a roster full of holes, if Shuck, if he keeps playing the way he did yesterday, and honestly the way he did in the Rams game, because look, let's be honest, the Rams went into to 49ers and blew them out the building.
Yeah, the Rams are fucking.
The Rams are an elite team.
The Rams are looking.
Never mind.
There's an elite
They
team,
beat the
but they're the-
Cardinals by one. Never mind.
Okay.
Beat another
But,
trash team.
Okay, but so my point is, This team, so let's take quarterback out of the equation at this point. If Shough performs the way we hope he performs. Running back, you're not taking one in the first round. Wide receiver, we desperately need another one. Tight end, there's really not a tight end that's going to be looked at as like a Tyler Warren or a Brock Bowers were the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Corner we
line,
need.
hopefully we don't need to take another goddamn tackle or guard. You don't want to take a guard or a center in the first round. Edge, obviously we can always take an edge.
Corner, we absolutely need help at corner.
Yeah, we do. I mean, because
I'm going to argue wide receiver is a bigger need in corner.
Easier to cover up, I think.
I don't know, man. Young quarterback, I say younger quarterback. If he is the guy and he's the guy you're going to ride with going forward, you got to get him weapons. Don't do what they did to Breeze where you keep giving him undrafted guys.
I'm saying, like, kind of like, I think receiver.
Go get his old teammate at Louisville, Chris Bell.
Receiver's a position where I'm okay with, taking your shots, like you've mentioned with top QBs. So if we're at a point where we're good with Shough, we think Shough is just as good or obviously better than any of the prospects coming in at quarterback that we could even get to trade up to get, then at that point, you take a shot at receiver.
Don't trade up. Do not trade up under any
It's Loomis, so it's what we want versus
I'm
what
not
going to happen.
receiver. I'll tell you why. I want to protect him, number one, and I want to at least keep him in games, number two.
We can't spend another first-round pick on a goddamn offensive
No,
line.
you can't.
We're maxed out on that.
You just invested in that,
Yeah.
right? That's the one thing that we just put the 2 top 15 picks into the offensive line.
Right.
That hopefully is somewhat figured out. Now, we've had injuries and all that. Who knows what happens with Ruiz? I get it. But that's number one. Keep him standing up. Number two, to me, is have a competent defense. Every decent quarterback has destroyed our secondary. We've hung in against bad quarterbacks. I'm saying Drake May destroyed us. Matt Stafford embarrassed the shit out of us. We did okay against Kyler. Kyler's benched now, dude. They put him on IR just to hide the benching.
Bryce Young didn't get us.
Bryce Young, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's that bad. I think the fact that we haven't played a ton of good quarterbacks has helped us again. But that secondary is very suspect. And do you sign Alante? What do you do?
I think they will, since they didn't trade him. I think they will. And then
The offers were bad on him.
no, so apparently
Four
the
is all I
Colts
saw.
the Colts were in until they pivoted over to your boy Sauce.
There's a-
And then
Not
that's
my
when they
boy.
pulled him out.
I've always shit on
But
Sauce.
they were
Look, so my thing with cornerback is, so you got Kool-Aid, and if you re-sign Alante, you got him, those two, and Quincy.
Yeah.
I'd rather roll with that and put more resources into the wide receiver. You can't sign a good young wide receiver in free agency. You can't. They just don't. You almost have to draft them, and then they price themselves out of the range, and you got to move on.
You're not signing a good corner either. The Colts just threw away 2 first-round picks to get a good corner.
Yeah.
I'd rather get a wide receiver and flood the
Maybe
guy with weapons.
we still have that afterglow of how good Dennis Allen was at turning nobodies into good cornerbacks. Like we still just make that assumption of, it doesn't matter when he was drafted, he can turn into a good corner. It's like, well, with Dennis Allen, yeah.
I really wish we could get a great tight end, because that transforms an offense. We all have talked about Brock Bowers, how much we loved him. And if you have an elite tight end, I said it a couple weeks ago. Tyler Warren has saved.
I know.
He had Drew Allard looking like a first-round pick, and Drew Allard is not good.
Well,
now he's saved Daniel Jones's fucking career.
We talked about one shirt we're pushing. It goes back to the other shirts we're pushing.
Excuse me?
Come
Pushing
again.
what, Cole?
Pushing is the Lou misses, because it infuriates me when I see Bowers having the success he's having, when I see Tyler Warren having the success he's having, and
we didn't pass on Bowers, so we can't say anything.
But he went one in front of us. But I mean, it's like if we didn't have to address the O-line, if we didn't miss on the O-line earlier, then we would have been clear.
Yeah, but we didn't pass on him, though, so you can't kill him.
But with Tyler Warren, we could have drafted Warren. We went with Banks, and then we had to go with Banks.
Right. Okay, that's a more appropriate.
So yeah, I mean, right. I mean, the Raiders snuck up in front of us. That's fine. But with Tyler Warren, I mean, if we had a competent tackle, which we were supposed to have with Penning, then we would have been full clear to draft.
What is a young
Tyler
quarterback's
Warren.
best friend? A
Fucking
great
tight end. Yeah,
Well, left tackle first, then a
left
tight
tackle.
end.
But we have the left tackle.
right. We do now.
Now, we didn't.
The best tight end in the draft is the kid from Oregon, and he's not on the level of Warren or Bowers. He is an athletic freak, though. Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah.
But if you're drafting early teams,
We can talk about all that later. We got to see who we sign, who we don't. I
Yeah.
think our worst room on the team is secondary. That's personal opinion. Like you said, if we're in the top 5, if that's where we fall, that's where the elite edges are at.
You have to take them.
You have to take it and skip, even if it's your second or third biggest need.
Did we sign Julian Blackman to more than a year?
No, 1-year deal. He's a free agent.
Yeah, so he ain't coming back.
But he's so injury prone. I don't think you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he comes back cheap, then yeah.
He's not. We've got Reed for a couple years. Sanker's taken the job. It's going to be those two next year.
Sanker and
You
Reed,
just
yeah.
hope Sanker continues to
I
progress.
don't know where
and gets a little
the
better.
Rams game Justin Reed went because I didn't, I mean, now Bryce wasn't really putting the ball in Reed's area much, but
Oh, you're saying the way he played against? I was going to say he played great against the Rams.
no, but I didn't really notice him last game. But maybe it's
I
just
did.
because-
That was
He
the
cost
only game
Mario
he
a
was-
fucking interception.
That was the only game that
Right.
Reed has been really, really good. Was against
Correct.
The Rams. Yeah.
on that.
He's kind of been a disappointment.
No, that's what I mean. Like, and so that's
But he's not going anywhere next year, right? We know he's here for one more year,
Yeah.
At least.
when
I
saw-
like Quincy Riley.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I like what I've seen out of him.
I think to Nick's point about the cornerback, that's where I agree we need to address it in the draft. I just don't know if you
think
use a
first.
top 10 pick on it.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
with that.
because
there's nobody there to take in the top 10.
especially with the
Yeah,
standard.
Who's your well, no, I'm saying, of course, you have to see where we land and I'm
Right.
saying if I have a choice between a corner who's supposed to be picked there and a receiver who's supposed to be picked there, I would go corner. Meaning they're both rated where we're picking.
It's pretty
I'm not
much
saying you skip down 10 spots to take that.
right.
Put it this way: if there was a redraft, or I don't know how to put this.
Hey, Will
exactly.
Johnson, was he available in the second round?
He was. That's what I'm saying. But
we
who-
lose Shough.
Who would you rather have right now, Ted McMillan or Will Johnson? I think I know your answer because McMillan was picked in the top 10, and Johnson fell to the
The
second.
was picked ahead of us. Where are you going with this?
But I'm saying
was a
Johnson
second-round
was
pick.
like up
He
until
was the pick before us,
up
right,
until
Ted?
the draft, he was supposed to be a top 10 cornerback. And
Yes.
he was rated with McMillan the entire way through. So
Agree.
at this point in the year, you would be deciding between guys like McMillan.
In that scenario,
and
if there's a
Johnson.
guy who people were overly worried about his injury and he fell to
Yeah.
second round, absolutely I prefer that. But he wasn't a second round player. That guy was a top 15
Right.
player. It was a weird injury thing and teams got
But
scared.
obviously, Will Johnson's having success
He's injured again though.
with the Cardinals. Oh well, there you go.
I was praising him and then he immediately got hurt. So
Yeah.
They're good. They're always good corners in the second round. Like Cooper DeJean was a second round pick. Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid is he's
not against the good quarterbacks, dude.
no, he's not. I'm not arguing that he's good. But I think he can still get there. Now he's got to make some changes.
They both
He's
could.
not
Hey,
there.
they could both get better over the. I agree with that 100%. I just think it's in rough shape at the moment. They're both very young, second year and rookie. I mean,
Yeah.
And I will say too,
I'm not judging them for their career. Just
we're trying to. If the idea is to get, again, this is all if Shough is the guy, but the idea would be to get him weapons as fast as possible, given his age, given his rookie deal. Get as much success.
I said
on
it
his
a
rookie deal.
month or two ago.
I
don't think the Saints would. I didn't think the Saints would take a quarterback anyway. Having not even seen Shough yet. At that point, I didn't.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought
I
the
was-
Saints were going to be like, you know what, we're going to roll
Yeah, I
with
was
them
in
because
that
they
camp.
have conviction of
Yeah.
this is. And now I think there's no chance of a quarterback.
But again, there's a lot of season. That's why I go back to the one game thing.
Yeah, you can't say that yet.
As much as I loved it, if
without knowing where we land and without knowing what Shuck's going to do over the last 7, we can't say
if
that
he throws
yet.
if he throws an interception to lose us the Falcons game, we will definitely be having a different team.
The schedule is so bad, and those three teams, like the Titans, are awful.
But we're
the
not.
Jets are
we're not
awful.
good enough to say that we should beat even the bad teams. We've been so inconsistent.
We've
that
been more awful than the Jets if we're going off
Yeah.
of statistics. We've been more awful.
Even in the last year scenario or the year before, even if we had a 500 type of team, then sure we should beat the 1-2 win teams. But we're a 2-win team as well, and we didn't. Sure, did we look better than a 2-win
No.
team on Sunday?
This
Of
is going
course.
to end up being a 4 or 5 win team.
I think so too. The counter is that Shough didn't start all season and he's now starting, so maybe it's different than it was the first 8.
And
we don't know.
We didn't
don't
go
know.
up against a slouch defense either. They're playing at home. They had the crowd noise, whatever kind of crowd noise Carolina
He's
makes.
played 2 good defenses statistically.
The Rams might be
The Rams defense is
the
incredible.
best this year so far.
And they shut him down, though, if we're being honest.
Well, but the other
didn't score,
the other thing
really.
too, and I was trying not to sound too much like a Shough apologist because I didn't really like it when everyone was apologizing so much for Rattler, blaming it all on everybody else. I didn't want to blame Shuck's performance on everything else, but I mean, running only 30 offensive plays that's crazy. Like he never even had a chance to get in rhythm.
That third quarter was an abomination.
So I mean,
but part of that was him. But again,
no, the third quarter was not him.
Okay, third quarter wasn't. We had no points going into halftime
either.
It was
a perfect storm of incompetence is what the Rams game was.
Fair enough, but he did nothing to change it. But
he had to score it before.
It shouldn't have been his first game, in my opinion. You don't go throw him into that game in your first game.
Yeah,
I would have.
I'm glad he did though, because that's adversity.
Maybe. We'll see.
We need to see how he responds.
Maybe Kellen Moore's thinking like the former QB, and he's saying, "Look, you know the games I learned the most from where I got my ass kicked."
Yeah.
And got to watch the film after.
It's just contrarian to everything he says about development. Like, you're not setting him up for success in that game. That's just reality.
True.
We knew he was going to be running for his life. He was. He took it. He moved on. He came out and played great.
But he said he couldn't open his jaw for like a week.
I don't know. We can get into Kellen Moore maybe in the bye week a little more in where that sits for all of us. I just feel like there's a lot of like trying to figure it out with the whole thing and like absolutely lost at times. And I hope he figures it out now and we hope Shough is legit and he can like move forward with a plan with Shough and a style of offense that he feels works best for Shough. And we see some consistency in what we're doing. I think that'd be great if we could finish the season against that, even if it is terrible teams. If we can get like an identity to that offense before the end of the year, that would be amazing. I think it's been a little all over the place this year. Play calling.
We don't have an identity right now.
Right.
It's kind of a problem.
I was telling Max this earlier. I think like there's still some shit to be desired in terms of Kellen Moore's game management, but the one consistent that I've seen is the plays that he's schemed, that Kellen Moore has, the schemes, the wide receiver routes. It's kind of a carryover from what I saw with the Eagles last year. Like when their guys get open, they're wide open, like no one around them, which is kind of rare to me in the NFL, at least from in my opinion. And you're seeing that carry over to this offense, even against teams like the Panthers who have decent guys in the secondary. Like we had some dudes who just ended up wide open because of the scheme. And then a couple of plays, yes, they were broken plays. And then some people were saying, "Oh well, Shough only your favorite guy, CJ Murdoch." Was saying that Shough only had success because of his success only came on broken plays, and it's like, well, they weren't. The receivers were still in the routes designed. It's just that he had to roll out within 2 seconds, So you call like a 2.5 developing second play, he's rolling out at second number 3. His receivers are still in the route tree, and he hit them when he saw them. Mm-hmm. So like the route trees are good, and so that's encouraging about Kellen Moore. There's still more to be desired about the game management. That's still tough for me.
It's his first year as a head coach,
and I give him that pass too.
I said it in the season preview episode. I'm not going to kill him for anything that happens this year. Once the clock turns to 2026, I will be all up his ass on it.
Yeah, and I think there's 2 things that are not coincidences. The run blocking was better, and the pass blocking, the protection was seemingly better, and Trevor Penning was not in the game for the first time this year, right? So,
and there's a
I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah. You got anything else?
I got a lot else, but I'll probably just cap it there.
Why don't you go ahead and plug the shirt one more time?
Yeah, so
this can be the screenshot for that.
If you missed it earlier, our new shirt, it's one you're going to want to wear. We got it in black, heather gray, but the black with the gold letters is nice. It is the Fuck the Falcons shirt, FOUGH, the Falcons. So just like say shuck 'em, it's fuck 'em, but the OUGH. So it's technically safe for work. Technically. But you get it at shop.28to3podcast.com. Get it now. Don't hesitate, because you're going to want to wear it in the Dome for the Falcons game. And if you don't get it in time for the Falcons game, that's okay, because we play them again, and it's a perfect shirt to wear year-round if you are a Saints fan.
You order it right now, though, and if we get that tweet out there.
Yeah, we got to talk to the admin to get the tweet up.
Admin.
Yeah, the admin.
Yeah, so I think next week's the bye week, so we do not have a lock to look forward to. But maybe we can come up with some other ideas. I think a game show on the Saints roster versus the other top 5 or bottom 5 teams might be a fun one.
We can do
we can do the state of the Saints.
A 12-play mock draft with the 5 worst teams, and where you would pick players in order.
Oh, that could be fun.
Of their best 12 players.
Okay.
Well, the best 12 players between the 2 teams, and see who has more and where we shake out roster-wise. I think that'd be fun.
Oh, wow. That's how you just
Get the
came up
parameters
with that
together.
idea
Yeah,
on the
just
fly.
on the
Nice.
fly. There we go. But that'd be fun, and we'll take turns going through it and do like a fantasy draft for it and see where we shake out.
Do I pick first since I'm like the worst at our point system?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think you've earned the first pick
You have earned the
3 years in a row.
3 years in a row. We can give you the first.
It's amazing.
I think we can also do a State of the Saints Union address, kind of talking about where the roster stands.
We need
the
to do that.
outlook with the
Cap.
salary
Do we have
cap,
some like
draft picks.
patriotic music in the background and stuff?
We can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. But the
Get you in your Trump outfit again.
nah, I don't know. I don't.
Get the orange
I
paint.
don't do Trump. Never done him. Never done Trump.
It got Amon Ra in some trouble this weekend.
Oh gosh. I thought his
Punched him. Who was that?
dance was great.
Yeah, the dance is funny. We can get Greg in here, and he can just be in the background. walking
Everybody's
around.
doing the dance, Max.
Well, cool. I don't have anything else.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, so they came up with a hell of an idea on the fly. Mock draft. Yeah.
That is good. I like that one.
get
We'll
the-
have a
I-
couple good ones because
I'll download-
we don't have a recap and we don't have a preview.
Have to-
So
We should bang out the sequel to the Charcuterie Board episode. Finally.
How many episodes are we going to do in this bye week? Damn.
We should do a bunch of them. Fuck it.
yeah, let's have some fun ones.
Do some fun ones.
We're not going to the playoffs, so we got
Playoffs.
That's true. We could do them during the
I'm going to have to
playoffs.
download the NFL chime, the chime soundbite for the draft we're doing.
I think we need the clown music for when you make your picks.
That's just annoying.
No?
Yeah, it'd just be distracting. Anyway,
Lizzie, if you're listening, the shirt is going back up.
yeah. Anyway, so that'll do it.
That'll do it. So thank you for listening to this episode of the 28th Street Podcast. Who dat?
Who dat?
What a comeback!